Hey everyone, this is Bill Krieger from the Veterans Archives podcast, where we preserve and share the incredible stories of our nation's heroes. Catch us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Wreaths Across America Radio, or stream anytime on Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Really, anywhere you choose to get your podcast, you should be able to find us. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media to help us reach more veterans and supporters. We are a nonprofit, and this service is completely free for veterans. Every story matters, and every voice deserves to be heard. Spread the word, honor our heroes, and join us on this mission. Follow, share, and tune in, because their story should never be forgotten. Learn more at veteransarchives.org. We'll see you there. Today is Monday, July 14th, 2025. We're talking with Art Arvanites, who served in the United States Army. So good afternoon, Art.
Good afternoon, Bill.
Great to see you today. Now, full disclosure, Art is my uncle, or my Theo Art, so I'm interested to learn all about you. And the way we're going to start is I'm going to ask you quite simply, when and where were you born?
I was born June 20th, 1935, in Malota, Greece, which is a village near Megalopoli, Arcadia, Greece.
Okay. So you just had a 90th birthday recently.
Yes.
Then. How's it feel to be 90?
Well, not different than 80 or 70, a little bit slower.
Yes. I can understand that. Well, let's talk a little bit about growing up. So you grew up in Greece. What was it like to be a young man in Greece?
Well, I tell you, that was a rough time during the Second World War, which the Germans, well, first the Italians and then the Germans came into Greece, and they came in with, were in southern Greece, and there was devastating times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, we don't have to, Theo Art. We can. So let's talk. So how old were you when you came to the United States?
I was pretty near 17.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, what I want to say before, when the Germans came to our village, which is only about 37 homes or something, and they took my dad. So my mother was left with 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest was 9, my sister. And I had a younger sister, which was about 3. And I was the 4th child born. So it was very, very tough times. I don't even want to talk about that.
Okay, all right. We can take our time.
Anyway.
So that left your mother to raise all the children?
Yes.
Okay.
And my grandma had a brother at the other village, which is Kerastari. And her brother was a priest, Papupa Vavageli. And he came to the village to see my mother and us, and asked my oldest brother want to go with him to Kerastari and stay. And he said no. He asked my other brother, Elia, says, would you like to come to Kerastari and stay with me? no. And then he asked me, and I said, sure. I was the adventurous.
It sounds like it.
And Papavageli, there was nobody living in his village at that time. So he wanted some company because he had 2 sons and a daughter. His son was killed he was a pilot. He got killed during when the Italians were coming into northern Greece. And the other was drafted in the army. And the third was a daughter, Dina. Yeah, I remember. George, Tasso, and Dina. So, Papavageli took me to Kerastari, and I think it must have been either 42, somewhere fall of 42, and I stayed in Kerastari till 1948.
So from about 7 years old to about 13 years old, then you were there? Did you visit home at all during that time?
Yes, I had gone many times to visit Mom and my other siblings.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a hard time because we had no shoes.
Really?
Yeah, going barefooted. I must have been in the first grade or something that the school was burned by the Italians or the Germans. And we had one room that a visiting teacher was coming, and the other kids, they were writing with a pencil, and I went home and I asked my mom, and I said, Mom, they're writing something with a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a pencil myself? And that's where I get emotional.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I don't have anything to buy it. So that's why.
It's very difficult. Yeah.
We're fortunate in this country. I'm sorry, Bill.
You're fine, Theo Art. We take a lot for granted, I think.
And we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope this country never takes anything for granted, because we really love this country.
Mm-hmm.
The freedom that we have.
So how long? So did you graduate from school then in Greece? How long did you stay in school?
Well, no, I didn't.
Okay.
I left Kerastari in 1948, and I was in Tripoli, which you probably heard. Tripoli.
Yeah.
It's on the center of Peloponnese, that. And I was selling watermelons for an uncle. And I made enough money from the watermelons to go to Athens, where one of my dad's youngest brother was living.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fortunate enough. It was Thea Rini and Theo Costa. Oh, they were terrific. Very, very good. Just like the parents that I did not have.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to ask you traveled on your own then. You went to different family members, but you traveled on your own at that young age.
I remember going from village to village, and there's the white clay.
Uh-huh.
And, because during the summertime when you travel like that and you're going barefoot and you see, and there's snakes, they, and you're chasing them and you look at anyway. But I had to travel. Papu Papa was, I think, probably in his middle 70s that time.
Yeah.
So, and then he had his own problems with some of the villagers that they left to join the different parties.
Mm-hmm.
And they were threatening him, and I think in 1946, he left, he went to Athens during the night. From 1946 to 48, I was staying in Kerastari by myself.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So then you went to... Then you sold watermelons, and then you ended up in Athens. Then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Athens, there was September. I'm pretty sure there was, because I went to register at the second gymnasium in Greece, in Athens, and I remember that principal or whoever it was, he says to me, "Hey, write an essay, how you left the village to be here and so forth." And I wrote a couple pages, and he didn't even look at him. He says, "I'm sorry, we're all full." And I went to talk to what I call Theo Costa, and I said, "That's what happened." And I think he kind of looked confused.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he talked to them or what, but Theo Costa had no means to, and I think that if he was a principal, he expected to get paid under the table.
Oh.
To register me to go to school there.
Right.
So Theo Costa says, "Well, you stay with me and we'll do some..." I used to go to nightclubs and sell any kind of pumpkin seeds, and I used to go to different seasons, go to the games where they were playing soccer, and I used to sell. At the beginning, I used to buy a big chocolate that they used to call it Hermes. It was huge. And I used to make a little lottery and say to them, ticket for this, for so many drachmas. And it was sold out, and we're moving over and calling the number in that area, and nobody was there. So I had a neighborhood kid with me, and we were setting up and eating the whole chocolate and watching the game. So next time I bought 3. So I go to, and I used to give 2 out and keep the rest one. And later on, when I got some money in my pocket, I used to buy the tickets in the Greek system that time. If you buy the tickets, you have also a ticket, I think that you used to call the pronia. You get it together. And I don't know, they say that's where you learn that street smarts or what. The guys that used to get the tickets, at the Panathinaiko, there was the stadium near, there was a good team too. They take your tickets and they throw them down. So as soon as the gates close, I used to go around and see how many of those pronias that I can get that they look like they were the whole thing there, because they never change it.
Yeah. Also, it was the same ticket every game.
Yeah, for the governments.
Yeah.
But the soccer team, whatever they're playing, they had the names for those tickets. But I will say, if I had the government ticket to buy 10 tickets, and then I'll when people sit in the line to buy tickets, says, tickets, and says, how much? Says, face value, because I was getting the government's.
Right.
Yeah, if there was, let's say, $20 for the ticket and $5 for the government, so I used to sell them just like this. Yeah, give me that, give me that, give me that. So next time I'll get double the. I used to make, whenever they were playing, I used to make pretty good. And then I think my uncle registered me to go to night school at tech school. Well, I wasn't any tech savvy. That was all new to me.
Right.
The merchant marines and so forth, And I used to take 2 buses from from home in what they used to call it, to Omonia, to pretty near Philadelphia, where the night school was, and I did it for, I don't know, 2 or 3, 4 months. And I said, no, I'm not going to go to that. So I kept on doing the odd things there and helping my uncle. But that time that they got a one of those kiosks, selling cigarettes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Like a little shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was helping him a little bit and his brother. And by the time 1951, I bought my own little kiosk with my cousin. But I was working at many hours, and my cousin never showed up for something like that, or whenever he wanted to show up. Like Theo Spiro was, when I was working his shift sometimes, says, come in for 3 hours, and then the 3 hours become 12 hours. But anyway, that's something that, so in early 52, I got the good news that Uncle Nick Bardaville, which was living in Lansing, Michigan at that time, sent for me to come to the U.S. And there was another brother of my grandma. So Theo Costa making arrangements, and Papu Nico sent $400 that time for my ticket to come over to the U.S.
Now, did you come over on a boat then?
Oh, yes, 17 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was up and down. The funny thing was in the high seas.
Yeah.
Everything was really, really good. There were plenty of food. You can eat all you want to. And in the high seas, there was, on that boat, there was 700 Greek people, mostly DPs, that there were displaced people. I came in under the, I don't know who was, how can you say it, when, as an immigrant, you had first priority if you lost your parents. Like Theoria did the same thing. Theoria, as a matter of fact, lost both of her parents.
Yeah.
One, her father was in the army, and her mother, I don't know what she died from. But anyway, she came over, and we had first priority. And when I got the okay that Uncle Nick had sent the money to, it took only 37 days for me to get all the papers. And in matter of fact, Papu Papa, at that time, my registration papers that were lost during the war, when they bombarded the villages, and they were destroyed. Some of the villages, they did not have anything happen to them, but ours, because that was close to the town of 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Right.
That the Germans and the Italians, they'll look at any forest. If they seen any movements in any forest, they bombard them. And,
Yeah.
so how can
So how were you able to find your papers then, since
Oh.
they got destroyed?
Yes, that's, well, Papu Papa, he was living in Perea at that time. I was in Athens, he was in Perea. So he says, well, we have an arrangement to go and see a judge to give you a certificate where you were born and all this and that. So I said, okay. I met him. We went to the court. Papu Papavageli at that time, big beard, very nice trim, and, and very distinguished looking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was behind him, and the judge says, Pater, you know this individual? Says, yes. And who is this individual? Is my nephew's child, and he was born. When was he born? Says, September 12, 1935. I didn't say nothing. And I said, after we got out, Papu, I wasn't born September 12, 1935. I was born June 20th, 1935. And he says, nothing to it, because...
We got the year right.
Yeah. So, says, and what did you say? Well, I think there was something that happened with my yaya,
Mm-hmm.
and that day became to his mind, and he said it. So
you got a new birthday out of it.
yeah. Well, nowadays they, on my papers, they say September 12, 1935.
Mm-hmm.
But I never celebrated.
Oh my!
So
you were able to get your paperwork.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then go through all the departments to sign off that I wasn't a bad individual.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't committed any crimes, or I wasn't a communist and all this and that. So I was taking them by hand to each department
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that they sign off. And you had to pay the government stamp so they stamp it. And I think I had done it 28 or 29 days, the whole thing. And I took the last week, I went to the village, I went to Kerastari, and I went to see my folks and my siblings and my mother. At that time I said, bye, Sari. I'll probably never see you again.
Oh. Was she happy for you that you were coming to the United States? Yeah.
Yes. But I said, Mom, people meet again, but mountains don't.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. I don't know why I'm so sentimental, but...
Well, she's your mother, and that must have been very difficult. Yeah.
Great lady.
She did what she could, right? She took care of you as best she could.
You know, when Theoria and I, 1973, went back for my brother's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we took a couple of weeks off, and I went to the village. I had rented a car, so we went to pick up Mom, stay with them a little bit, to go to the Arias village. And, when I was going through, I said, Mom, you should be friends with everybody in the village. And says, I am, son, but that no good son of a, and that good lady, I'll never be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I know why, when we lost our dad, some of the people in the village took advantage of the farm or whatever, the trees that my dad, because we had some trees, almond trees, walnut trees, olive trees, apple trees, for the year's food supply.
Right.
So they must want to rip it off. So my mother never made friends of them.
Yeah, never forgot.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So in 1973, you did see your mother again then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I went in 68
Okay.
with Johnny.
Okay.
That's, what is it? It's some picture of Johnny. I took her, that she was sick with anemia.
Mm-hmm.
So I took her to see the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not go to different places, or just like when we went in 73.
So if we can go back a little bit to you said goodbye to your family, and then then you got on the boat to come to the United States?
And I went to Perea with Theo Costa and Thea Irini.
Mm-hmm.
They were escort me there, and they were wonderful. Theo Costa and Thea Irini, they were more than parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They did more than they had to, but they took care of you, right?
Oh, yes. So, and I never forgot my Theo Costa and Thea Irini.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you see them again after you came?
Many times.
Oh, good. Good.
And not only that, I spoke to Theo Costa in his name day,
mm-hmm.
in Christmas, whatever. I talked to him at least 2 or 3 times a year. And he says to me many times, nephew, with all the nephews and nieces that I have, you're the only one. Call me and thank me and see how we are and all. So, if somebody treats you good, you better treat them better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
well, tell me about your trip here, and then what was it like when you got to the United States? So what was that like for you?
Well, it wasn't easy. I arrived at Ellis Island, which I did not know at that time it was Ellis Island.
Uh-huh.
And we were at the Ellis Island for a whole day. I went there about 10, 12 years ago to see Ellis Island. It looks beautiful now. But those days, 1952, it wasn't nothing like it's today.
Right.
I don't know if you ever been there to see.
I have.
And now they have all the names of people, and we found my name there. But we're sending cross legs right there for 24 hours to be processed.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was processed, I got into a train, and says, well, you're going to Detroit. So on the way, because my last meal, there was probably about 5 o'clock the day before when we were at the Ellis Island. There was no food served for 24 hours.
Oh.
And I had $4 in my name. And when I went to get something to eat, and I see people, they were getting, as I found out later on, ham and cheese sandwiches and Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, indicate to, I take that. And I put the $4 right there, and he took it. And I took a bite, and I thought that was rotten.
Really?
Yeah. And when I took a drink of Coca-Cola, I thought that was poison.
Oh, no.
Because, in Greece, I was getting used to the feta cheese, and then, I was the portocalada, the orange drink.
Yes.
And there was no such thing of what I got, that ham and cheese sandwich and the Coca-Cola.
It wasn't exactly fresh either. Like in Greece, the food is very fresh.
So anyway, and then we arrived in Detroit, and I was in the middle of the train, and I see people going left, people going right, and there was the conductor. First time I ever saw, I seen an Egyptian before, but I'd never seen a black person.
Uh-huh.
And I said, there's my aunt outside in Greek. Huh? And then when his eyes, those white eyes and the black face, I never forget it.
He had no idea what you were saying, did he?
Yeah. So I told, and I said, after everybody went, left or right, and I said, I'm going to stay right here because my Uncle Nick's daughter was going to pick me up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to move. So next thing I know, after a lady was coming, and I thought that there was my Aunt Mary, that Curlis.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, Tia Maria. No. So come here. So I went, and then my Aunt Mary was waiting outside the gated door
Oh, okay.
to pick me up. And that time she was married to Aro Goldmeister, and we stopped at Warren, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
That was where her in-laws were living. And we had something to eat. And that night we drove to Lansing. And I met my Papunico and Tia Magdaleni. I never call him Papunico, Theonico,
Mm-hmm.
and Tia Magdaleni. So
So where did they live in Lansing?
420 North Butler Street.
Oh, I know that area very well.
They were next to Genesee
Yeah,
Grade School.
yeah. I don't think Genesee Grade School's there anymore, but
No?
yeah, North Butler, I know where that's at. So what did your Theo Nico do for work?
Well, he was in the restaurant business.
Uh-huh.
And he, when I came here, he wasn't that good of a health. He had a little restaurant called Bard's Restaurant. It was on Saginaw and what is it? Saginaw and Larch.
Okay.
And now it's there are animal hospital in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I went to West Junior a little bit. And after about a year or so, he had another Nick Bardaville, a first cousin in Mount Pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
And he got sick, and Uncle Nick says to me, because he had a restaurant, says, Nick Bardaville needs a little help. Well, I had learned a little bit restaurant business
Yeah.
with him at Bard's. And I went up there for about a year and a half or so. But Mount Pleasant, it was more of a college town than anything else.
That's pretty, at that time, that was all there was Central Michigan University, right? And not a lot else.
I remember 7,000 students.
Whew.
And I think it was less. The students were more than the Mount Pleasant residents.
Right.
And then I, after a couple of years, I told Phil Sanders, which it was Uncle Nick Bardaville's that time son-in-law. I said, Phil, I'm going back to Lansing. And there was, Phil was going to, what there was a deal, if I go there, we should become partners.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I saw Phil was reluctant, and I know why he was reluctant, because of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I learned a good lesson. And I left Phil and says, well, I know you're going to do well in life. That time I was probably 20 years old. and he was 38.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back to Lansing, and I went to Saxton for, I don't know if I went directly to Saxton, but anyway, I went to work for Pascalinos. They had a restaurant, and I was a server there. And then I don't know how long I stayed there for. Anyway, and I went to Sexton, and that time I said, Uncle Harry, that summer of 57, or the fall of 57 or something, that you can come and help me. So I did that, and then Chris Kadayanis was supposed to register for the Army, because once you're 18, you had to register for the military.
Right.
And I took Chris Kadayanis on May Street, where there was a registration offices at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris registered his name, because at that time Chris was freshly coming to this country. He did not know any English at all. And I remember the lady says to me, "Did you register yourself?" And I said, "Yes, I registered." "And what's your name?" I told her. And I said, "Where are you looking?" "Oh," says, "you're up for draft."
Uh-huh.
So I said, "I am." He says, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, if I'm going to be drafted, I'll be ready." And February 18th, 1957, I went to the Army.
Oh.
And I said, "Good. Now I don't have to work. I don't have to, take it easy a little bit."
Is that what you thought?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Not that easy, though.
No. So where did you go for your basic training when you first came into the Army?
Well, processing center, there was Fort Leonard Wood. And that was funny. At Fort Leonard Wood, I don't know if there was a first night or the second night, they say, "We're going to have a GI party." Oh, good. Yeah. And I was too naive, I did not.
Right.
And it says, you, pick up them up. You, pick up a broom. You. So I said, "That's a GI party."
Not the kind of party you were expecting, was it?
Not at all. And then we went to Fort Carson. And that was a rough second eight. I mean, the first eight, because there was March and April, halfway up to Pikes Peak. You've been there, Bill?
I have not been to Fort Carson, no.
Yeah.
But
Well, and they call it the Agony Hill.
Uh-huh.
And that time, you gotta go up for bivouac. And I remember you pull your foot up and one foot goes down into the mud and you pick up. And that was a pretty rough time. A lot of people from or let's say California or Florida, when you're close to Pikes Peak or 4 Mile, what it's Denver, it's the Mile City.
Oh yeah, the Mile High, Denver, the Mile High City. Yeah. It's
because
the air is different, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people did not made it. Art made it at 118 pounds and a full pack of 62 pounds in his back.
Your pack weighed almost as much as you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you it wasn't you weren't taking it easy. It doesn't sound like it wasn't what you thought it was.
oh no, but it got better.
Yeah, you were 8 weeks at Fort Carson then. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 8 weeks at Fort Chaffee, Arkansas.
I've never heard of that. That must not be there anymore. Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. What did you do there?
Let's take a quick break.
Hey listeners, we need your help to keep the Veterans Archives podcast going. We're a nonprofit dedicated to preserving the stories of our nation's heroes, and we provide this service completely free to veterans. Your support helps us record, share, and archive these incredible stories so future generations never forget the sacrifices made for our freedom. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. Visit veteransarchives.org to contribute today. Help us honor their service by ensuring their voices are heard. And thank you for your support, and thank you to all the veterans who have served our country.
I went to clerk typist school. You know, not normally, but after my, there was, at Fort Chaffee. Did you ever heard Fort Smith?
Yes.
Well, that was part of Fort Smith.
Okay.
And there we went to clerk typist, and most of the fellows graduating, they were sent to Germany. And I applied, I don't know if I applied or told I would like to go to Germany, but because I wasn't an American citizen, I couldn't go to Germany.
Oh.
Yeah. So I stayed in Fort Chaffee an extra week or two or so to get some orders from the Pentagon, and they sent me to Fort Hood, Texas. And I said at that time, they sent me to a foreign country. It's Texas.
It must have felt like a foreign country, huh?
But, I was lucky there. I got assigned to personnel where we had the new troops coming in that were making a second missile command. And I stayed probably about a month, and first sergeant, he asked me, Arvanites, come here. And I said, okay. this is Lieutenant Woodbeck. And it says, Lieutenant Woodbeck needs someone to go and create an airstrip. Oh, this was all new to me. And I said, I don't know. And his name was Sergeant Welch. He was really nice. A young man. I think he was made a first sergeant during the Korea. I guess he made his rank by, but a good young man.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the airstrip. We start getting, and it says, Lieutenant, he says, don't worry about it. We've got everything all set. And then when I left the aviation wing, that time they call it the aviation wing, they had 300 pilots and probably 60 or 70 fixed wing, little L-19s, and probably a dozen of H-13s and some H-34s, because that's, how can I remember?
I know.
That's 60 years ago.
Some things you just remember, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good size air wing, though. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and then, I got my citizenship in Austin, Texas.
So you got that while you were still in the Army?
Yeah. And I had I had to have a witness with me. So I picked up a real friend of mine, which it was another draftee, and his name was Hunt. We went to Austin there to the court, and when the judge saw that Aristides Arvanites, would you like to change your name to Americanize it? I said, no, Your Honor. That's my God-given name. And come on, I give you 15 minutes to think about it. And I said, Your Honor, I thought about it. This is my name, and I'm not going to change it. So, okay. So I got my citizenship, and I was happy for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I do not use Aristides that much, except on my legal papers.
Well, it's still your name, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
being a clerk typist, did that help you with your English?
I think so.
Yeah.
I remember that time, I think there was at one time that I could type 57 words a minute. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's...
But now I don't know if I remember the keys.
Now do you sort of just use two fingers and type? Or do you still type like you...
No, I did not use two fingers at Fort Chaffee. That taught us to a lot of the soldiers at Fort Chaffee. There were probably not only high school graduates but college graduates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got your citizenship in Austin, and then did you stay at Fort Hood then the rest of your time in the Army?
Yes.
Okay. And how long were you in?
I was for 2 years.
Okay.
Probably, I was the February 18th when I was in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
I probably got out of there probably a couple of weeks early because of leave time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you come back to Lansing then, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was going to stay in Texas. I had found a person, they had a restaurant. I think they call it the Elite at that time. Anyway, but then I was talking to Uncle Nick, and Uncle Nick had slipped and broke his leg. I slipped on ice, broke his leg, and Tia Magdalene says, well, Theo Nick needs some help. So I got into the bus and I came to Lansing, because I had an obligation.
Right.
Yeah.
So you helped out. How long did you stay at the restaurant then?
No, I didn't. I had met them before. I used to go to Waco, Texas. They had a Greek church there and go once in a while. And then they had a visiting priest. They used to come to Fort Hood once in a while. So I had met him.
Okay.
Or they had that. So I didn't stay there, but he says, well, if you get out from the Army, the Greeks, they promise you a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you came back to Lansing then and helped your Theo Nico, right?
Yeah.
And so he still had the same restaurant?
No.
Or did he have a different?
He could not work that. He had medical problems.
Okay.
He lived to be 96 years old. And we lost Tia Magdalene in 1961 from a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
So, but...
So then what did you do when you came back? What were you...
Well, I went to work, hopefully for Fisher, but I look around, a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
When we got out from the Army, they said, I remember Captain, anyway, he says, you have 90 days to make up your mind to re-up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a couple of weeks look around, and then I heard Fisher Buddy was hiring. And I said, well, I better go and look at it. So I went to Fisher Buddy, apply for it, and it says, you just got out from the Army? Yeah. And it says, well, you can start work tonight. You don't have to take a physical. So I said, what work would I have to do? So he took me and says, well, you can work right here. And I said, sparks flying all over.
Really?
Yeah. There was what they call the pits.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you weld. You got 20 pounds of welding guns, and I'm 118 pounds. And flares flying about 30 feet away. And I looked, there are 6 guys in the pits. Their T-shirts burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what else do you have to do? He says, you work there 4 to 6 months, and then you can transfer to whatever. And I said, okay. And I just walked out.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like a very safe place to be.
Well, now that I learned that one, the Mark, both Huey and Mark, they worked at Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not have to do that, but that's the hardest job.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I went right across to Uncle Harry again. And Uncle Harry says, well, I need someone to help me with Harry's. And I said, well, I'm planning to get married. I never thought that I'd get married to Rhea, but I said, that's my plans and what is for me. And I said, well, he says, you work. Well, no. What did I said, yeah. When you're ready to sell, would you give me the first choice? And Uncle Harry, was a man of honor, I'd give you a check.
Right.
Figure there was, and we made a deal that I'll take care. And then in 1960, there were 3 liquor license.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Harry had beer and wine. There were 3 liquor licenses issued to the city of Lansing. So I said to Uncle Harry, I'm going to go and apply for a liquor license. Oh, he says, dummy, I did all right with beer and wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't think that will do. So I went to the city hall and put an application in. It says, how many years of experience you have in a restaurant? Oh, I said, a couple of years. It says, it's not enough. You got to have at least 5 years. So I said, 5 years? Oh, Uncle Harry has 45.
Uh-huh.
So I went back and I said, Uncle Harry, you got to apply for this liquor license. Oh, dummy, I did all right. I don't need that. And I said, yes, you do. So I convinced him. He will fill up the application, and it took me 8 months every Monday night going to the city council to get the license. And I remember one of the councilmen says, well, you got to change Harry's because there was a factory bar.
Right.
And you got to change it, put carpet in and yes, sir. Yes, sir. How stupid they were. But you had to agree.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So After 8 months, Uncle Harry got a liquor license, and on that liquor license there was a stipulation. The individual receives that cannot sell that liquor license unless there's these are the 3-year stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 years up, Uncle Harry called me up and says, call Tom Sinus to make the sale.
Mm-hmm.
So, Uncle Harry never remembered that was from the first day that the liquor license was issued to the date that we got. He says to me, oh no, I said to him, before we do that, we got to come into the price, because I said, if I have the means to buy it, and, the way he said, you give me so much down, so much amount, triple net. I don't want you to, Maria, have to have any taxes, any insurance, any utilities, or any of this. And I said, okay, just tell me what money I have to come up. So he was fair, but Maria at that time, when we got the liquor, the business had double.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't willing to depart from, but Uncle Harry says, don't listen to Maria. And, it was a blessing.
Yeah. So you bought Harry's place then in 1965. Okay. And it's still there. Still there.
Harry, I think, let's say 2005, 2007, took a couple of years. We tried different things. And, music, I didn't like music. It's not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Full restaurant, I don't want it, because when I was in Mount Pleasant, there was full restaurant.
Yeah.
You had to make pies, you had to this and that, soups and gravies and specials and all this and that. And you have to have a chef.
Mm-hmm.
And chefs, they're terrible. And I learned that by buying Johnny's. You know where the Taco Bell is on West Side,
Yes.
There was Theo's before.
Yes.
And then I bought it. That's where I made it to Johnny's.
Mm-hmm.
But I was waiting to buy a liquor license. And I bought a liquor license, then made it to a, you make more money out of liquor
Mm-hmm.
because you have no waste. The only waste you have if your bartender gives drinks away.
Right.
And the thing with Johnny's is after spending a ton of money to remodel it and put the bar in and all this and that, all new makeup air. Anyway, I was talking one day to an individual on the phone. I said, Mike Gorman. I said, Michael, I have my glass washing machine at Harry's, and it's a new element.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Art says, but I cannot be there after 6. I said, okay, I'll wait for you. And when we met after 6, he says, you know, I left Brothers and I'm working for Taco Bell. I said, oh yeah, Mike, what's... He says Taco Bell has 13 Taco Bells that he owns, and he wants somebody to take care of the equipment inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he has a Taco Bell on West Say, you know, that was on the right side. And the guy gives him hard time. And he says he's looking for a place to move it. I said, well, I got to the right place. Here I was spending pretty near $400,000
Right.
to remodel it. And he says, well, how big is it? I said, well, it's just a little under 1.5 acres. I says, well, he needs 1 acre. Well, I cannot cut it. I said, here's my card.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to Pete, and if he's interested, he can call me. So a couple of days later, I get a call. This is Pete, whatever, from Taco Bell. You talked to Michael Gorman? And I said, yes. And it says, how much you want for the piece of property? I said, the piece of property is not for sale. I said, I'll listen to you. It says, how much you want? Well, at the time I said, I want at least $6,500 to pay the note.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, another $1,500 to $2,000 for the money for myself. Oh, it says, Art, that's too much. We're selling tacos for 69 cents. It's very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pete, that's what it is. I said, you did not make no money out of tacos. You make out of money of selling the pop. And I said, you get a pop for 10, 15 cents a glass it costs you, and you sell it for 79, 89, 99. That's where you make your money.
Right.
It says, well, I cannot dispute that. It says, let me think about it. And a couple of days later, he says, okay, I have an attorney. Throw the papers.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, don't forget, I'm not going to spend any money anymore to tear down the building, or if you do that, And if we have to auction anything out, I get the benefit. And the license, are you going to use the license? No. I said, the license comes back to me.
Right.
So that was a good deal.
It sounds like it. So I'm just curious. Did Joni's ever open?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so they were open and running for a while before you.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
Tina was the manager,
Uh-huh.
and she just had Shannon, and Adam was probably about a year.
Yeah.
And you have about 40 employees or something like that, and they're not the best intelligent people to work with. And I saw Tina, F this, F that, the cook. And that's what I said, it's punishing my girls.
Yeah. It was time to do something different, right? So I want to go back a little bit. You bought the bar and restaurant in 1965. When did you meet Theoria?
Well, that time we were meet, and then we started dating, and then we got married in the fall of '69.
Okay. So you had you already established your business, and how did you meet?
I met through probably church.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got married in '69, and then you had how many children?
Well, we had Johnny in '63.
Okay.
62 or 62. And Harry, because I said to Rhea, we're not going to have any kids that in 3 years, we're not going to have any kids to be in diapers and have, more.
Right.
So they got to be apart. So, Harriet was born in '65, and Tina was born in '68. Christopher was born in '73.
Okay. All right. So you had them nicely spaced out then.
Well, I didn't want Rhea to have kids two kids in diapers.
Right.
So, and if you go somewhere, you don't have to have one, because thank God, I said to Theoria, work hard, but enjoy life.
Right.
And we used to go 2 weeks every winter when Fisher Buddy was taking those 2 weeks off.
Right. Oh, so for people listening to this, just so they get the idea, Harry's was right across from Fisher Body.
Oh, yes.
And Fisher Body was like your main business.
95%.
Yes. So you would, when they would do their changeover or whatever, you would go on vacation because they were all on vacation, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
They used to take a couple of weeks off during Christmas, New Year, and a couple of weeks off during the summer for retooling.
Yes.
So that was the opportunity for us to get together with a family.
Well, and we would, so my father worked for Oldsmobile.
Well, same thing.
Every year in July for 2 weeks, they would do changeover, retooling. And so we would go on vacation. I remember those days back in the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah, well, that kept up till, I don't know if they're still doing it, or I'm pretty sure they're still doing it. So
yeah,
it worked out good.
So with 4 children, so I take it Joni's was named after your daughter, your firstborn?
After my mother.
After your mother, okay. Okay.
Her name was Joni Helene,
Oh.
my mother and Ria's mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Well, you know, Bill, I never, I know I get a little bit, I call it sentimental or emotional, but, I never regret the tough times.
Right.
I said, it's a better day tomorrow. I always, enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God that it worked that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think those tough times make you who you are, right? Sometimes you go through those things and it...
They say, well, it depends what you're associating with. Yeah, you can associate somebody that you can learn, or you can associate somebody that's down to the dumps.
Mm-hmm.
Which one you want to be?
Yeah, I want to learn.
Yeah.
Right?
Like when my and one of my father's brothers, we're talking one time and says, well, tell me, Art, how's life in USA? How do you doing over there? I said, Thea, I'm living the life of a prince. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God that, to have the health and to do the things that's good for everybody, good for your family. And don't try to hurt anybody.
Right.
Try to help somebody.
Well, and also for people listening to this, when you talk about health, you're 90 years old, and I know that you do your own landscaping and you take care of your property, and you do a lot of things that some people don't understand how you can do it. But it's because you've maintained your health and you have a healthy attitude towards life.
God bless. If you don't have good health, you got nothing.
Right.
So thank the Almighty for bestowing good health at you.
Absolutely.
We had our ups and downs with health, but thanks to the good doctors too.
Yeah. Well, they're here for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your family. So tell me about your children.
Well,
Or tell me what you'd like to share about your children.
I love them all.
Yeah.
I tell you, we're blessed. We're having, of course, losing Joni, that was devastating.
Yeah.
But thank God we got Harriet, Tina, and Christopher. We could not ask for better children.
Mm-hmm.
Harriet is married, has 3 children herself, and she's the joy of my heart. Tina, she's married. She has 2 children of her own and one of her husband, which is more than her own child. And she's Tina the Terror. She's hardworking, intelligent, you name it. And Christopher, of course, you know.
Oh, I know, yes. Well, I know all three of them, actually, but yes. Christopher, yes.
The only thing I used to say to him, son, go ahead, get married, settle down. But now, today, he's going to Portugal.
Yeah. Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
Yep. Well, all of your children work very hard. They're hard workers.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
You know, and they say, thanks God that we learn from you to take pride of our work and take pride of our family.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the proper word? They say taught us. Oh, anyway, some of those words, you know, it has an effect of when I had 6 years ago, this stroke.
Mm-hmm.
It took away from my memory. I used to, you know, people used to write down the old days, the telephone numbers.
Yes.
I wrote it down once, and that was it. I remember it.
Uh-huh.
When I used to call different suppliers or different people, I used to say, Ivanhoe. You remember the old days, the Ivanhoe?
Yeah, so you had 2 letters and then numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm young. I'm a little young for that, but
way different generation.
Yes, but I know what you're talking about because I remember my parents talking about it. Yes, and we still had a party line when I was a kid, where people shared
somebody else.
Yes, yes, or someone would listen, and you could tell when they were listening to your conversations. But so yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
yeah.
But well, thank God it's still. I can find my way around. Let's put it that way.
That's important. That's very important. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about you too. So you Harry's Place is still running strong, and that's still in the family. But you've had other restaurants and other businesses, and you've been very successful.
Well, I don't know if that what do you call it, Bill? But I know I used to get involved with different things, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to get upset when I found difficulties. I started out with Harry's, and then Uncle Nick had a piece of property on Beverly and Grand River.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to rezone it. And he had opposition from the neighbors. And he says to me, we tried to rezone this, and these neighbors, they were objecting. And I said, who's these neighbors? Oh, this is Mr. Colbert. And I said, okay, Uncle Nick, I'll talk to Mr. Colbert and see what's the objection.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there, talked to him in 1968. And I said to him, Mr. Colbert, would you like to sell this raw land? I says, I would. And I said, okay, I'll give you, that time, I give you $15,000 for it. Oh, no, it says, I don't know, it's 2025. And we agree anyway in 1968, which it was good money.
Right.
And I said, well, I'll tell you what I will do. I'll give you a down payment, and I'll pay you every month. So there was a deal that took away, where Fox Island is on,
Yeah.
they used to own by Mr. Bardaville. And when I bought it, they brought it up too, and there was nobody against it. And that's where Jim Fox bought it and put Fox Island in those apartments. So from there, I built in 1978, Louis Vlahakis and I built those 40 units on Johnny Circle.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept a front that I put in later on the Arvanites retail center. And I sold it last year because now I sold just about everything.
Uh-huh.
And from there, we got to East Lansing. I used to say to Theoria, I'll never get involved in another project. and then a couple months later, another idea was coming, and then I get involved and says, what happened to when you said that I'll never get involved with another project? Well, I said, that was then.
Yeah. This is now, right?
Yeah, yeah, well, we had a lot of fun. I don't know. Christopher, he asked me one time, says, how many projects you get involved? And I said, I don't know, son. And really, I never really sat down because I traded. Like when we bought Johnny's Theo's out, I traded him with a office building I had on Michigan Avenue and Waverly west from Michigan Avenue.
Yeah.
There was an office building there. I ran that office building for a few years. And then there was time there. I said, well, I'll sell that one to get that one, so.
Right. A lot of wheeling and dealing, it sounds like. Lots of. So were you and Louis Vlahakis business partners for a while then?
We were for the 2000 building on Hagedorn and Grand River.
Okay.
And then when we built the apartments, and Louis that time says, I gotta get out from the apartments so we can buy the Golden Gate with Jim Christophil.
Yeah.
And then John Christophil had it later. So, we were in 2 projects with Louis.
Okay. But it sounds like there's a lot of businesses around like Lansing and East Lansing that you had a part of then.
Yeah, I started with Lake Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
I had bought 40 acres of Lake Lansing to back in 71, 72 to put a mobile home park in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bill, what was it? Bill Sword, or that was the drain commissioner for Aham County.
It was probably before my time. So I was born in '65. So
Yeah, somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, you were a young man. He came in. I bought it for $40,000 on land contract, and they, because there was two different cells, they came in, and it says they wanted to drain the Lake Lansing.
Oh.
They went to Mr. White, which had some, a lot of
White Hills.
yeah.
Yeah, he built a lot of homes in East Lansing.
He and then he will never let him put a drench, all the debris and everything, and so says to me, "Oh, we'll give you $80,000." And I said, "No." Matter of fact, he came into the old Harry's before I remodeled, and we're dealing and wheeling back and forth, and it says, "Well, my people said that you will not. We will not give you no more than $80,000, but we'll." I think there was the beginning was, he says, to make a golf course. After we drench it, you can have that and make a golf course. And I said, make a golf course? It'll take a lot of money. And 40 acres, it's not a big golf course.
Right.
So I said, give me 120, and you can have it. This was at Harry's. And he says, no, there's no way we're going to give you 120. So I said, you're wasting my time then. And then he goes to the telephone, which there was a telephone booth inside Harry's.
Right. With a payphone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grung, 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 grung. He says, okay, we'll give you 120. That was one of the deals. And then...
So I want to make sure I understand this. So you bought it on land contract, so you didn't really completely own it yet.
No.
But you tripled your money by making that sale.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Then Louis, Mike, and I bought 17 acres on Jolly Road, where they're having the something with the Army.
Oh, yeah, the enlistment building there, yeah.
Yeah. We bought it for 170 on a land contract. And we sold it to 17 acres to the Army enlisted for 570.
Wow.
And then I took that money, my portion was clear, and Then I merged Harry's.
Mm-hmm.
So, take it from one, put it to the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Always investing in your own business too. So that's.
Yeah. Well, if you don't take no chances, not all, like the East Lansing, we had bought that fraternity house
Mm-hmm.
back in 72. And, we had those psychologists in there. Well, in 25 years later, their building was obsolete for office.
Right.
So we took a chance and we spent a lot of money. But, we wanted to have an office building, but to have a little retail center. We figure with Michigan State, a little retail center will do much better, like a pizza place and a 7-Eleven or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the city said no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was, we had heard GM was going to put a tunnel from Fisher Body to Oldsmobile for setting the bodies over.
Right.
So we went and bought with Gus and I and Bill. Gus, I had brought him from Fisher Body to work back in 1965. I was a Greek boy.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought his cousin Bill from Montreal. He was from Greece to Germany to Montreal to here to, at that time, to be the cook or the chef for Harry's.
Uh-huh.
But I told him, we can do things together and we can, because, to pay big wages is not feasible.
Right.
But if we do other things, and we agree, and we bought 9-10 pieces of properties, right on Rosemary and what's the other street there? Anyway, all that in one section.
Uh-huh.
In order for if Fisher Body had to make a move, they had to see us first.
Right. Right. They never built that tunnel, though, did they?
No.
But you were able to move the properties, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, after, well, I told Gus and Bill, there were 9 pieces of property, and we put a price on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, make a package. If you get the A property or B property or C property, it's equal value. Not to have one up and
Right.
And then I set them in on the table, and that time we had those big cigarette trays,
Uh-huh.
and I had made on paper. I had wrote property A is worth $25,000. Property B is worth $25,000. Property C worth $25,000. And I said that we'll check it up. We'll put them in the ashtray and under the table, and that's it. And you take it and check it, and I take it and check it, and Bill take it or Gus, and then you draw it. And I said, Bill, you're the oldest. You want to draw? No. I said, Gus, you want to draw because I'm going to be the last one. I don't want guys to say, well, you knew which one to.
Right.
And I said, I don't want you guys to. So it says, okay, Gus, he that he got where Gus's bar was on West Michigan Avenue, right next to Safeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got that one. And I got 3 of piece of property. I sold them later on, you know. Well, as a matter of fact, I have one of the houses that's right across from the Union Hall, the 602.
Yeah.
Right across the street, that I gave it to Harry. I said, you know, I'm not going to take care of it. I used to take care of it, you know, go. I said, Huey's going to, you know, you and Matthew, it's your house now. So, and they, you know, same thing, the Genesee house, I call it, because I had bought all the properties around Harry's.
Yeah.
That way, back in 70s, they used to complain, the neighbors complained that on 230, the bar was closing. People that were drinking in the parking lot, or Fisher Body was, I don't know if you remember when Fisher Body had those old windows.
Yes.
And they closed all the windows because the neighbors were complaining. So I had bought 3 houses around and a lot behind. So if you use it as a buffer zone.
Right. Nobody can complain because it's your property.
Yeah. Well, even though I used to buy it on a land contract. I remember, I take it back, Mr. Welch, I had bought him, I paid him $17,000 and there was, you know, he passed away and his son, he wanted 25, and I said, I'm not going to give you 25. I said, I give you 15. I think, yeah, I got 15 for that one, 17 for the other house behind it. So, and those I did pay cash because for 17, and for 6 months, that his son's trying to close the estate. And I said to him when he agreed, I said, one stipulation. I said, what's that? The old grand piano that you have in there, I want it for the same price. So he gave me the piano, and that time I got a couple of guys from Fisher Body, strong guys, and because it's heavy. Right now it's out in the garage.
Oh.
That I said, I don't know anything about music, and Rhea knows nothing about music. I want my kids to learn music. So when Rhea knew nothing about it, I took the piano, put it on Shannon's Lane. At that time, we were living on Shannon's Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhea says, "What is that?" And I said, "Piano, that kid's going to learn to play the piano." And I don't know, there was probably, I don't think Christopher was born yet, I don't know. But, and all three of them learn music. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
It is.
A lot of funny things happen in life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great story, though. I mean, that's that's fantastic. So we've talked about a lot of stuff today. We've covered a lot of things. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about? Is there anything that we've missed?
Well, have God bestow us with good health till the time comes to leave this earth. I think that's probably Rhea and I and all of us a wish not to be a burden to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I want to ask you one more question, and then we'll stop for the day. But so I ask everyone the same question, and that is, years from now, when people are listening to these stories of people's lives, what message would you leave for people? What piece of advice would you give to people that are going to hear this years from now?
Well, I don't know. Work hard, be happy, and enjoy life. Be honest to your fellow citizens. Don't harm anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't harm you. So, I don't know, Bill. What?
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the afternoon and sitting here and answering all my questions. I've learned so much about you now. This has been really good.
Well, I'm glad that you came over and we spent pretty near
2 hours almost, I think. Yeah. It's been a little time.
It's beautiful.
I like it.
I get to know you and you get to know me.
I do.
It's fantastic.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Veterans Archives podcast. We truly appreciate you taking the time to listen and honor the incredible stories of our nation's heroes. Don't forget, you can catch us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Wreaths Across America Radio, or stream past episodes anytime on Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and as I've said before, any place you can find a podcast, you can find the Veterans Archives podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share our content on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and across all social media. Every share helps us reach more people and preserve more stories. The Veterans Archives podcast is a nonprofit initiative, and our mission is simple: to give veterans a voice and ensure their stories are never forgotten. This service is completely free for veterans because their sacrifices deserve to be recognized and remembered. You want to help? Follow us, spread the word, and if you know a veteran with a story to tell, send them our way. Visit us at veteransarchives.org to learn more about how you can get involved. Thanks again for tuning in, and most importantly, thank you to all the veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. Until next time, take care, and we will see you on the next episode of the Veterans Archives podcast.